Have you ever felt a powerful desire, a dream you want so badly, it feels like, well, like a fire inside you?
Oh, definitely. That intense feeling, maybe starting a business or, finally getting that book written. We all have those moments.
It's that deep pull, isn't it? That feeling telling you there's something more.
Exactly. And as some of the research we looked at highlights, that initial spark, that really intense wanting, that's often the very first ingredient for any big achievement.
Right. And on this deep dive, we're going to explore the essential elements for turning those burning desires into actual tangible realities. The materials you shared were really thought-provoking about focused intention and crucially consistent action.
Yeah, we're going to unpack what really makes the difference. We'll look at, how to really cultivate that desire first.
And then build that self-belief, that faith you need to keep going.
Right, and tapping into the power of our own minds, getting the right kind of knowledge.
Using imagination not just to dream, but to actually innovate.
Creating a practical plan, making those timely decisions. Super important.
Preparing for challenges because they will come up.
Oh, they always do. And then persistence, the strength you get from community, and finally tuning into that inner wisdom.
So think about that tiny spark of a dream you might be holding right now.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to explore how to protect it, feed it, give it the air it needs to become a really powerful guiding fire in your life.
Love that analogy. Okay, let's dive in, starting with the core, right? That burning desire itself.
Yeah, the sources had some fascinating stuff on the psychology behind it.
They did. And what really stood out was the difference between just wishing for something.
Yeah, like, oh, that'd be nice.
Exactly. Versus a true, deep, almost gut-level desire. It's not just a passing thought, it's this feeling that really pushes you.
It's the thing that keeps you up at night, maybe, thinking about it.
Totally. And when you look back at great achievements, the sources show they almost always start with that intense level of wanting.
The material gave that great example. Daniel, was it the guy dreaming of the restaurant?
That's him. He didn't just think, yeah, a restaurant, maybe someday. He had this real specific drive for an Italian place.
And the key thing the source pointed out was how he immediately turned that feeling into a concrete goal with a deadline.
Right. Not just, I want a restaurant, but I will open my Italian restaurant by June 2026. That specificity, huge difference.
Absolutely. It really shows the contrast between those kind of fuzzy dreams and clear goals. Makes sense, right? Vague dreams lead to vague results.
Whereas a clear target lets you actually figure out how to get there. One source even mentioned a study showing people with specific written goals way more likely to hit them.
It anchors it in reality, doesn't it? Takes it from just an idea to something real you can work towards.
Precisely. Setting that specific goal, putting a date on it, it's like flipping a switch. It kicks things into gear.
Okay, so for you listening, here's the first actionable thing straight from these ideas. Like Daniel, write down exactly what you want.
Get specific.
Yeah, really specific. Not just improve finances, but say, I will save $50,000 by December 2026. Something concrete.
Yeah.
And definitely set that deadline.
Without it, it just kind of floats around, doesn't it? Remains a dream.
Exactly. Okay,
Yeah.
so you have the goal. Now, what fuels it? Let's talk about self-belief or faith.
Right, so if the goal is the seed you've planted, self-belief or faith, like the materials call it, that's the water.
Nice analogy.
It needs that nourishment to actually grow. Without that deep belief in your own ability to do it, even the best goal can just wither.
One of the sources had that Brian Tracy quote. It really hit home. Believe in yourself. You are braver than you think, more talented than you know.
And capable of more than you imagine. Yeah, it's powerful. A reminder of what's often just sitting there, untapped inside us.
So how do you actively build that belief, especially when doubts creep in, which they always do?
Well, the sources offered a really practical technique, saying your goal out loud every morning with energy, like it's already happened.
Oh yeah, I liked the suggestion about doing it while looking in the mirror, really connecting with yourself.
Exactly. It's not just saying words. It's about feeling that future success right here, right now, in your heart.
The example affirmations were good too, like, I'm running my own business by March 2026. I am ready. I am capable.
Yeah, those aren't just empty words. You're actively planting those seeds of belief in your subconscious, day after day.
And the material acknowledged it might feel, well, a bit weird at first.
Totally. Maybe even a little embarrassing just talking to yourself like that.
But it stressed the long-term impact, that daily habit, really builds up that solid foundation of confidence over time.
And that's key, isn't it? The power of consistent small actions. Even something that feels a bit odd initially can shift your whole mindset if you stick with it.
Okay, so action step number 2, based on this,
Yeah.
write down a short sentence about your goal, something powerful.
Capture the essence.
Yeah. And then morning and night, read it aloud. Focus on feeling that excitement, that certainty, that small habit. Big gains in belief down the road.
Definitely. Now, this ties into something else the sources discussed: autosuggestion.
Ah, yes, the power of your own thoughts.
It's fascinating how our repeated thoughts really shape things. One article used the analogy of a song stuck in your head.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, perfect example. Your mind just grabs onto it and keeps replaying it.
Exactly. And the research shows this works for all thoughts, positive or negative. If you keep thinking about your doubts.
They get stronger. They take root.
Right. That Tony Robbins quote that popped up a few times, where focus goes, energy flows. It's so true. Focus on doubt, you energize doubt.
Focus on success.
You cultivate the energy for success. It directs where your mental resources go.
Which brings us back to Daniel's routine. The sources said he wasn't just hoping, he was actively using autosuggestion, repeating things like,
I am building my restaurant. I'm learning every day. Success is coming closer. Stuff like that.
and the analysis showed this wasn't just wishful thinking. It actually gave him energy, motivation.
Yeah, it fueled those consistent actions. Even when things looked slow on the outside, it kept him going.
Okay, actionable takeaway here. Create a simple, positive, personal affirmation for your goal.
Keep it personal, keep it positive.
Like the example, I'm growing stronger every day. Success is mine. Something like that. Say it 5 times, morning and night.
And really feel it. Feel like it's already happening. It's about consciously steering your thoughts.
Makes sense. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. More practical now. Targeted learning. Getting the right knowledge.
Right. So if desire is the spark and belief is the water, knowledge is kind of the fuel, isn't it?
Good way to put it. But the key insight from the materials was that it's not just any knowledge.
Exactly. It has to be the right knowledge for your specific goal. Strategically focused learning.
I loved the analogy about building a boat versus studying skyscrapers.
Yeah. If you want to sail, learning all about tall buildings, well, interesting maybe, isn't going to help you build that boat, is it?
Nope, gotta focus on shipbuilding.
And Daniel, again, his approach was spot on, according to the sources. He knew he lacked restaurant management experience.
So he took that online course, right?
Yeah.
Specifically on small business in hospitality.
Exactly. Dedicated time each week. It was focused learning directly tied to what he wanted to achieve.
And the big point was, you don't need to know everything. You don't need to be the world's foremost expert.
Just the critical stuff, the knowledge and skills to take those next essential steps for your specific dream.
So this leads to a question for you listening, reflecting the advice. What skill or piece of knowledge would help me most right now?
Identify that one thing.
And then the action step. Find a relevant course, or a book, or a podcast, maybe even a mentor,
Something that offers that specific knowledge.
and commit to, say, at least 1 hour of learning this week. Think of it as investing in your goal.
Strategic investment. Good term. Okay, let's move to something a bit more creative. Unleashing imagination.
Oh, I love this part. It taps into that inner kid almost. The source used that example of a child building a sandcastle.
And seeing a whole kingdom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that ability to see beyond what's physically there. It's powerful.
And what's fascinating is how that childlike ability is still a potent tool for us as adults. That Einstein quote came up a few times.
Imagination is more important than knowledge.
Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world. It really highlights imagination's role in creating something new.
The material brought it back to Daniel again. How he'd spend time each day vividly visualizing his restaurant.
Not just thinking about it, but seeing it, smelling the food, hearing the happy customers.
Immersing himself in it like it was already real.
And the sources suggested this wasn't just daydreaming. It generated energy, enthusiasm, and actual ideas.
Like the cooking classes for kids idea. That apparently came out of one of those visualization sessions.
Exactly. It became a unique feature of his place. It shows imagination isn't just about escaping reality. It can actively shape it.
By picturing success vividly, you can unlock new solutions, maybe even attract opportunities you wouldn't have thought of.
So the actionable step here, spend 5 or 10 minutes each day visualizing your dream as if it's already real.
Engage all your senses. What do you see, hear, smell, taste, feel?
And just allow new ideas to bubble up in that space. Use your inner vision to guide your outer actions.
Get from imagination. Let's get grounded again. Creating a clear, organized plan.
Absolutely crucial because, as the materials rightly point out, dreams without plans are kind of like ships without maps.
Just drifting.
Yeah.
Probably not going to reach the destination.
Right, and the key thing is the plan doesn't need to be some super complicated 100-page document.
No, just simple and clear, right?
Exactly. Organized, showing the steps to get from here to there.
Daniel's basic plan for the restaurant was a good example. It included things like
Saving money, finding a location, learning the management side, testing menu ideas.
and that crucial opening deadline, tying it all together.
And adding deadlines to those steps is what really makes a plan actionable, doesn't it? Turns intentions into tasks with some urgency.
Like building a bridge, one stone at a time, as one source put it. Breaking down the big goal into smaller, manageable pieces.
Makes it feel less overwhelming, too.
Definitely. So, actionable takeaway. This week, write down maybe 5-10 key steps needed for your goal.
Just the main milestones.
Then assign simple, realistic deadlines to each one. And most importantly, to get moving, pick one small step you can start this week.
Get that momentum going. Crucial. Now, let's talk about making decisions. Decisive action.
The enemy. Indecision. It's such an energy drain, isn't it?
Totally. One source used that funny example of agonizing over which ice cream flavor to choose.
We've all been there.
But it shows how even small indecisions waste time, drain energy, and can even build up fear.
You just feel stuck. Whereas successful people, the sources noted, tend to make decisions fairly quickly.
And then, importantly, they change them slowly if needed. They prioritize moving forward.
Daniel's quick decision to lease that promising restaurant space, even with some unknowns.
Yeah, that illustrated the power of acting decisively. It had a really positive knock-on effect for him.
That Denzel Washington quote fit perfectly here. Without commitment, you'll never start.
But more importantly, without consistency, you'll never finish. That quick decision is an act of commitment. It sets the stage for consistency.
And it's okay if not every decision is perfect.
Right.
Like the materials stress that.
Absolutely. The goal is forward movement and adjusting as you go, not getting paralyzed, trying to make the absolute perfect choice every single time.
Right. So the actionable step, practice making one decision this week within, say, 24 hours.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be huge.
Could be small. Just practice the process.
Gather info, trust your gut, make the call, and move on. Strengthen that decision-making muscle.
Good way to think about it. Okay, next up, anticipating and preparing for challenges. Not the most fun topic, maybe, but essential.
Yeah, it's like that sailor checking the boat before a long trip, as one source suggested. Gotta expect some rough seas.
Just knowing that difficulties are basically part of the deal helps you not get totally thrown off course when they hit.
It builds that resilience. You're not shocked into quitting.
And Daniel faced challenges, right? Permit delays, funding issues, the usual stuff that comes up.
But the key was his mindset. He saw them as problems to solve, not stop signs. He adjusted, found solutions.
And we can do that proactively too, thinking ahead. What obstacles might come up on my path?
Okay, so the action step. Write down maybe 3 potential challenges you could face with your goal.
Be realistic. What are the likely hurdles?
And then, for each one, brainstorm at least one possible solution or way to handle it.
Like the example, if you know low energy might be an issue, proactively plan for more rest in your routine. Simple but effective preparation.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about something that underpins all of this. Persistence.
Ah, yes. Sticking with it. This is where so many people falter, isn't it?
It really is. The analogy of breaking a rock with a hammer was so powerful.
Yeah, that first swing does nothing. The second, the third. Maybe nothing visible happens for a long time.
But each blow weakens it,
Right.
until finally it cracks. Success often comes after that sustained effort.
And sadly, as the materials highlighted, so many people give up just before that crack appears. They don't realize how close they are.
Daniel's first few months with the restaurant,
Yeah.
slow business. That must have been tough.
Incredibly tough. But instead of giving up, he persisted. He looked for ways to improve, gave out free samples, tweaked the atmosphere, talked to customers.
He kept swinging that hammer, basically.
Exactly. That determination is persistence. That Tony Robbins quote again. Persistence is the twin sister of excellence.
One is a matter of quality, the other a matter of time. Love that. Excellence often just takes time and sticking with it.
So the actionable takeaway, create a personal rule. No quitting right after a bad day or a setback.
Okay, I like that. What do you do instead?
Take a break, get some perspective, ask, what can I learn from this? And then critically take one small step forward again, just one.
Keep yourself in the game. Don't let the setback win.
Precisely. Now, related to persistence is drawing strength from others. Let's talk about the mastermind group idea.
Right, surrounding yourself with supportive people. The analogy of geese flying in formation was great here.
Yeah, they share the effort, right? Fly farther together than they could alone. It conserves energy.
It's that shared energy, that mutual support. Knowing others get what you're trying to do.
Daniel had his group, right? Friends with similar business dreams.
They met regularly, shared challenges, gave advice, celebrated wins.
That kind of support structure is invaluable, especially when things get tough.
And a point was, it doesn't have to be some huge formal thing.
No. Even just one or two other people you trust who are also working on something meaningful.
People who are generally positive, action-oriented, willing to be honest. That can make a huge difference.
Totally. So the action step, reach out this week. Think of one or two people in your network who fit that bill.
Invite them to meet up, maybe monthly, just to share ideas, talk through problems, brainstorm solutions together.
That shared accountability and support, really powerful stuff. Okay, finally, let's touch on listening to your inner wisdom.
That quiet voice inside, right? That intuition.
Yeah. The sources suggest it's often where our best insights come from, especially when we quiet down the mental noise.
It's like our subconscious connecting the dots from everything we've learned and experienced.
Exactly. Sometimes the best ideas don't come from more thinking, but from trusting that gut feeling.
Daniel's nightly ritual was a great example. Reviewing the day, gratitude, and then asking that simple question.
What is my next best step? Or what's my most effective next action? Clear and simple.
And he wouldn't force an answer then and there, right?
Okay.
He'd just ask and let it go.
Right. Create that quiet space. Often the insight would just kind of appear in the morning.
Yeah.
A clear idea or feeling.
That Joe Dispenza quote felt relevant here. When you change your energy, you change your life. Trusting that inner guidance can shift things.
It leads to more aligned action, often. So the actionable step for tonight, maybe, try Daniel's practice.
Before sleep, ask a simple question about your goal. Like, what small step should I take next?
And then trust that first idea or feeling that comes to you in the morning. Write it down. Act on it. Develop that trust in your inner GPS.
Love it. Okay, to wrap things up, one of the sources shared that amazing story about the farmer and the bamboo seeds.
Oh yeah, that was powerful. 4 years of watering, caring, nothing visible happens.
Seems like a total failure.
Yeah.
But then, year 5, boom, 90 feet in just 6 weeks. Incredible.
It perfectly illustrates persistence and patience, doesn't it? Especially when you can't see the results yet.
So much growth can be happening underground, building that strong root system.
Exactly. And that's such a great metaphor for our own dreams. Even when progress feels slow or invisible,
Your efforts are building something. That foundation is getting stronger. You just have to keep watering.
keep showing up. It really underscores persistence, patience, and faith.
And remember that final empowering thought from the materials. Your dreams aren't accidents. They're gifts inside you for a reason.
And it's your mission, really, your privilege to bring them to life.
So, summing up this whole deep dive, turning those burning desires into reality. It's a process.
A mix of things. Cultivating the right mindset, belief, focus,
Taking consistent action fueled by learning, planning, deciding,
navigating the challenges with resilience, persistence.
and leaning on community, trusting your inner wisdom. It all works together.
Definitely. So as we finish up, really think about those actionable steps we discussed. Pick one or two that resonated.
Yeah, choose something you can start doing right away this week.
And maybe, as a final thought to take with you, consider all those elements we talked about: desire, belief, focus, learning, imagination, planning, action, resilience, persistence, community, inner wisdom. Which one feels most crucial for you to focus on right now for your own burning desire?
Something to ponder. Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive.